Hi, welcome to this first annual Craftmas that we're doing over here that's been put on by Beth. My name is Shani and I have a blog called Sunshine and Munchkins, and I'm really excited to be with you today and to share with you a fun little light up star craft. So I will be walking you through step by step how to make it. And I will also be sharing this on my blog. So if there's any part of this video that was maybe a little bit unclear, or you want to go back and look at it again, I will be sharing the post on my blog tomorrow, so Monday. But anyway, I hope that you enjoy it and thank you for watching. Okay, so the supplies that you're gonna need are like a block of wood, like a wood frame. I got this one from Walmart, I believe. This is a 6x6. You'll need a foam brush for painting. Your choice of paint color, I'm using a red. And then this small light set. There is a total of 10 lights in here, and it's battery powered. I found this at the Dollar Tree actually, like last year, so I'm not 100% sure if they have them this year, but this is what you're going to want, is a battery powered set of these LED lights. You want a scraping, or not a scraping tool, but like a bubble remover tool, because you also need some vinyl for the words, and you'll also have some vinyl to have cut out for the shape of the star. So oh, I'm sorry, as well as some contact paper. These are just smaller pieces that I try and reuse them a few times. So contact paper, a plate or something to put your paint on, as well as a drill and a bit, which obviously is going to be for your lights so that they can poke through. Okay, so the next thing you'll want to do, of course, it's going to depend on the size of the block that you're working with, as far as how big of a star you'll want to cut out for your stencil for the front. Something you'll also want to keep in mind is that even though this is a 6x6 size, it has this frame around the back, which really means that I'm only working within this space since I'm drilling those holes through. So keep that in mind when you're making your own star shape, whether you're cutting out your own star shape by hand or using a cutting machine. I use a Silhouette, and I cut all these pieces out ahead of time just to make things a little bit more streamlined. So first, you have your star shape, and we're going to be filling in the middle of the star, which means that we are looking to use the outside of our stencil shape. So just pull this carefully off so it doesn't stick to itself or anything else. All right. Okay. Then you may have to play with it a little bit to get it right where you want, or where you kind of feel is centered. You could grab a ruler and measure out all of your sides to make sure that it's all right. You can eyeball it. It's kind of up to you about how precise you want to be. So that is kind of a personal preference thing. Usually what I'll do is I'll kind of stick this on kind of about where I think is correct. And then, nice thing about vinyl, it's fairly forgiving, right? A little bit tricky. Sometimes it bubbles a little bit in these different spots. You could use contact paper for this. That's another option. Just to make it a little bit less sticky. You can lay it all down in one piece. Okay, so once it's on, you'll use your little scraper tool. If you don't have one, you can use a, a credit card or something. But basically you just want to make sure that you're sealing down your edges as well as you can. Since this wood's textured, you're not gonna necessarily get a super duper solid line, but you just want to do your best to get these edges all pressed down as well as you can. The outside edges, of course, these don't really matter. You don't have to worry about that. It's these inside edges that we're more worried about. So once that kind of gets on there, then we are ready to paint. So this is a color I chose. Oh, sorry, right there. That's the color I chose. So we'll just shake it up real quick. And I like using foam brushes. This is a pretty standard craft supply if you do any kind of painting at all with acrylics. You don't need too much. I do end up doing a couple of coats. I try to do it all in the same direction. Again, you can really use any color that you want. I like the red. I liked how it looked, especially with the vinyl colors that I chose. I chose white and gold, and I thought that the red made a really good contrast. But you could do a green star. You could do a gold star. Any color that really matches your own decor style, and then just do coordinating vinyl to go along with it. So once that is on, just kind of let it do its thing here. Let it dry. I do a couple of coats of paint on this, so we'll let this one dry, and then we'll come back and do another coat on it. Okay, then I've got my second coat going on here. I actually just used a blow dryer to get it to dry a little bit faster. But I mean, acrylic paint dries fairly quickly as it is. So we'll just do that second coat. Again, kind of a personal preference for you. However, you could do multiple coats or just one. Okay, and that is it. So we'll let that dry for just a little bit longer, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I didn't let this one dry quite as much as I did the first coat. That's because I would just want to be able to have the vinyl not stick to the edges of where I painted. So just pull this up, and you'll see that it is not a totally clean line, which I'm okay with. I like kind of that little bit of a rustic edge to it. Just pull this off. Okay, and we've got our star. Okay, so while this star is finishing drying, I'll just set that aside and I'll pull out my vinyl. So this is my wording right here in the white. It says Merry and Bright. You obviously can't see it very well because I haven't weeded it yet. And this is my little ampersand that I did in gold. So I'm gonna go ahead and just weed that really quickly. If you have a weeding tool, you of course can use that. This comes off fairly easily. It cut through pretty cleanly, so not too worried about using that weeding tool. you definitely could. These fonts here, I will list the names of them in case this is, you want to, you know, copy what I did exactly. But this top one is called Magnolia Sky, and this bottom is called BHAS. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I will include that information in my blog post so that, like I said, you can go ahead and copy that if you like the way that this looks. Got these little pieces really quickly here. Okay. Alright, that's everything. Now, when I created this in my Silhouette in my studio, what I did is I actually, you know, created this in like a replica of this in my studio so that I knew exactly the correct spacing, and then I cut it out this way. So I know that when I put it on here, it's spaced out correctly to fit inside of this star area. So that is a helpful tip. Just making it a little bit easier for when you actually are going to place your words. You could, of course, do this without words too. You don't want words. That's the thing that I love about craft projects and things like that. You can always personalize it the way that you want so that it fits in your own colors, your own style, or, you know, you can copy it and make it look exactly the same if that's what you like too. This vinyl is a little sneaky. Okay. So now that I've got both of these, what I'll do is I'll just grab some of my contact paper. So here's some contact paper, and of course what I'll need to do is peel that off. So the first thing I'm going to do is put it right over the top of my Merry and Bright. I'll put this back underneath so that the stickiness doesn't get everywhere. So like this, again, I've got my little tool here. I'm just pressing it on so it'll stick to the contact paper. And one thing that I like to do, I think I mentioned this before, but one thing that I do like to do is I actually reuse my contact paper a few times because I just don't like using it once and throwing it away if it's still sticky enough to be used again. So after a few uses, it doesn't work quite as well, but okay. Sometimes even no matter how much you rub on it, some pieces are just gonna fight with you a little bit. So you can either go back and try again with rubbing it, or you can kind of just pull it off a little bit like I'm doing. Like this, push it back on. Okay, so there's one. There's the second one. Don't usually have quite this much trouble getting it off, but okay. Okay, good. So now we've got this on here. Like I said, the spacing is all right so that when I put this on top, it looks right. So all I have to do is lay it out. And I'll just put this underneath so you can see it a little bit better. So I just kind of stick it right on top. like this. Again, using my scraping tool to get that on there as best as I can. Metallic and glitter vinyl is always gonna be a little bit more finicky because it has the texture, so it's not a smooth surface for the contact paper to stick to. So you might have to keep working with it. See, that one just didn't even want to go on there. But I'll just help it out a little bit here. Okay. Ah. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you've got your vinyl that's sitting ready to go. The next step is to use your drill to put holes in. So again, I will get the size of this for you. It is going to depend probably a little bit on the size of your lights. So you might have to just do a little bit of trial and error on like a piece of wood or a piece of cardboard to try and get the right fit before you do it on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll probably just speed up the video so that you're not just sitting here watching me drill. I am going to put a piece of cardboard underneath here really quick though, so that I don't make a mess all over my counter. So I'm doing it, let me try and show you. I'm doing it, so I'm actually drilling like right here. So not here, that's not what I'm doing. I'm actually doing it right on the tip of the star, or like in the corner of the star. Okay, and now that I've got my holes drilled, and I'll just turn this over so you can see that that's kind of what it looks like on the back. You see I did a pretty good job here of spacing everything out. And so now I can go ahead and put my vinyl on. So if you want, you can try and put your vinyl on before you drill the holes, but I would recommend just waiting until after, because that way you know that your spacing isn't going to be a problem. So just press that on and use my little tool to transfer it over. Okay, so there's that. So you got your vinyl on. And the last thing to do is to put the lights on. Okay, so back, we've got our holes, they're ready. This is my little light set that I am using here. And pretty straightforward little light set. You can choose the kind of light that you like best. These are clear white. If you want something that's a little bit warmer, then just make sure you choose like a cool, like a warm light as opposed to a bright clear. Okay, so got these here, and I'm gonna start up here at the top, and we have to just clean this out just a little bit, but it should just slide right through. There we are. There's that one. Move the next one over. And just make your way around your star. Some of these holes might be slightly tighter than others depending on, you know, if you moved your drill around or not when you were pushing them in or drilling them. It's a little bit of a tight one. Okay, and you can kind of adjust those to how you want them to be, like how far you want them kind of poking out. Okay, so there's that, and then of course you would put batteries in and then it will be ready to go. So let me show you the finished version. Okay, so this is the one I made earlier. This is, and when I turn it on, you can see there it is. So all bright and looks good. To finish this off, you could Velcro this onto the inside. You could just let it sit on the inside, you know, just set it up somewhere so that, you know, you don't actually see it. That would be just however you want to kind of finish that off. I hope that you had fun. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you enjoy watching the rest of Craftmas and seeing all of the talented, awesome ladies that have been sharing their projects up to this point and who will be sharing the rest of the day. So again, my name is Shani, and my blog is called Sunshine and Munchkins, and I share crafts and DIY. I also share recipes, kid activities. I kind of do a little bit of everything, but I do a lot of crafts and that kind of thing. So if you are interested in more, you can find me. I'll leave my information probably in the comments section of this video, but also I will leave it at the end of this video. So if you want to, you can follow me. I would love that, of course. And also, you can check out the full tutorial again with pictures and everything like that. The full material list and everything will be on my blog tomorrow. Merry Christmas.